Hello students, how are you all? Hope that you are having an amazing day. I'm Mohammad Naeem Amin Bhatti and today we are going to discuss The Way of the World written by William Congreve. So this drama was premiered in 1700 and it is basically a restoration comedy, or we can say it the comedy of manners. It talks about the love, it talks about the money. So the very first try of William Congreve is to tell us about the importance of wealth and its sacrifices about the people that they done for the wealth. Same is the case in here in this drama. First, we have to discuss its historical context, that the period of English history from 1670 to 1729, when Congreve lived and worked, was marked by the dramatical political events which gave its name to the literary tradition known as the Restoration drama. As we all know that the Restoration drama was very much important and famous at that time. In 1660, Charles II came to the throne, and the monarchy, which had been exiled, once again ruled England. And after that, the Restoration Committee was started. So, the English comedies of this time, Congreve include to take the manners of high society and aristocracy, the material for the satire, focusing on their attention. Then Henry T. E. Perry writes the comic spirit in the Restoration drama upon the surface of the highly polished and fundamentally insecure civilization. So these were some features which generated the Restoration comedy or comedy of manners, which was pretty much famous at that time. If we talk about the setting of this play, the setting of this play is basically in the Chocolate House. After that, the setting is in London and also in the St. James Park and in the countryside areas of the London. The Chocolate House setting for the Act 1, such houses Wills near Covent Garden and White's near St. James Park were the fashionable meeting places of the young gallants and the wits. Often gaming was associated with them. If we talk about the plot overview, it is basically about the two main characters. Mirabel, the main character, who is the lover and want to marry with the female character or the heroine of this drama, Milament. Once a womanizer seeks to marry a girl he loves, Miss Milament. Unfortunately, her aunt Lady Wishford holds power over the £6,000 inheritance and despises Mirabel because he once pretended to love her. Once he was enough close to the Milament that lady he gave regards to the Lady Wishford, but Lady Wishford thought that he is in love with her. Means to say that Lady Wishford was thinking about herself. So she thinks that Mirabel has deceived her. So Mirabel and Miss Milament devise a plot in which his servant Waitworth will marry Lady Wishford's servant Foible and then woo the Lady Wishford in disguise as Mirabel's uncle Sir Rowland. So this scheme works, and then the planning is came to know and known by Miss Marwood, who wrote a letter to the Lady Wishford and told her all the situation that Mrs. Fennel and the other people uh, came to know about this plan, and Lady Wishford's come to town before departing to go abroad, and Lady Wishford desires for him, though bumbling man, to marry Miss Milament. Now, Lady Wishford says that Lady Milament should marry with Sir Wilful, but Sir Wilful is also a greedy person. He also claims the inheritance before the marriage. The situations come to head when Lady Wishford, while visiting that Sir Rowland, receives a letter from Mr. Marwood and revealing Mirabel's scheme. So Fennel attempts to use Lady Wishford and her daughter's precious social situation as the leverage to gain the Miss Millament's inheritance and all of the Lady Wishford's money through the control of his wife's inheritance. So that is a very critical situation. However, the foiled by Miss Millament announces that she will marry to Sir Wilful, and the Mirabel announcing that he has to had to claim to Mrs. Fennel's inheritance since before her marriage to Fennel. So this plan works once Fennel and Miss Marwood leaves. Miss Millamant rescinds her offer to Sir Wilful, and she and Mirabel receives Lady Wishford's blessing for marriage, and her reputation have been saved by the two lovers. So both of these lovers saved the reputation of Lady Wishford, and Lady Wishford is now grateful to the Millamant and Mirabel, and both of them, because both of them had saved not only the 6,000 pounds of money but also the honor of Lady Wishford. If we talk about the characters, Mirabel is a womanizer, a young man about to town, and he loves with the Millamant. And Millamant is basically a young lady and very charming lady in love with the loved by the Mirabel. She is the ward of the Lady Wishford because she is the niece of the Lady Wishford's long dead husband, and she is a first cousin of Mrs. Fennel. If we talk about Fennel, basically he is a man about to the town, and he and Mirabel know each other very well, and he is also the footman of the Mr. Mirabel, and he makes the plan and act upon the plan, and Fennel marries with his wife on her money, for her money. Okay, Mrs. Fennel is a wife of Fennel and daughter of Lady Wishford, and she was a wealthy young widow. And when she married to the Fennel, and Fennel had married with the Mrs. Fennel only for money. If we talk about Miss Marwood, she is the Fennel's mistress, and she was once that perhaps still is the love with the Mirabel, and she loved not to her love is not to return by the Mirabel. If we talk about young Wetwood, he is the fop and came to London for the country for the study, and he is basically a countryman. If we talk about Petulant, is a young fop and friend of the Wetwood. Lady Wishford, as we talked about earlier, that she is a vain and greedy lady of the 55 years old, who still has the pretentious to the beauty, and she is the mother of Mrs. Fennel and the guardian of Millamant. She is herself love with the Mirabel. If we talk about Sir Wilful Wetwood, he is the elder brother of the younger Wetwood and is 40 years of old and planning to grand tour for the Europe, and he is also a greedy person. Waitwell is Mirabel's valet, the servant, and helps the adorning of the people. If we talk about the fable, the Lady Wishford's maid and married to the Waitwell. Menacing is the Millamant's maid, and Peg is the maid of in the Lady Wishford's house. So these are some characters. The key facts about the Way of the World: that it is a social comedy. It satires on the social types. It talks about the vain women. It talks about the wealthy type of the things, and the elegance of the plottings, characterization, and actings. The plots and the subplots are divided generally in excess of the action, treatment of love with the objective rationalism, then the sentimental form of the sacrifice, not merely carnal, includes trust, dignity, and mutual respect. The points are discussed in the Way of the World. The restoration comedy or the comedy of manners is basically the action always takes place in London and the countrysides of the London. If we talk about the presence of at least one pair of the very intelligent young lovers, and also the dialogues are most important features of the comedy of manners. There are the witty dialogues, and the comedy of manners is the intelligence of the audience readers and not to the emotions. The women in these plays were very emancipated and bold and independent, unlike the heroines of the sentimental drama. So, the restoration comedy is actually the opposition of the sentimental drama. These plays were mainly intended for the elegant and sophisticated audience of the London city. These plays portrays the lifestyle of the idle rich of the London city very realistically, and also the plays were mildly stylistic, and the playwrights could not be afford the hurt the upper class of the audience. So these plays were actually written for upper class of the audience. Now we can see the remarks of the William Congreve that the fear comes from uncertainty. When we are absolutely certain whether of our worth or worthlessness, we are almost previous to fear. So if we have uncertainty, we will surely have fear, but if we are certain, then there will be no fear, according to William Congreve. So I think that you have got the plot and characterization and key points of the way of the world. Till the next video, it's goodbye from me.